Hey Team Shuckle, what is up? Welcome back to another Wi-Fi battle. We're continuing on with the Lithio GBA theme, and today we are battling, oh my god, Brownie Boy TB. I can't believe, I completely spaced for a second. I knew it, and I just completely spaced. Wow. So he's definitely, like I said before, on Shadow Chew, he's also one of the top players, so this was definitely something that was going to be quite the battle. I like this team. I'm bringing this team to pretty much everything. I haven't really seen any use for anything else that I use, which is a little unfortunate, but maybe I'll find another use for those other guys. But for right now, I was looking at his team, and oh, this is his side. Ew. Oh well, I mean, it's really not the end of the world. I was looking at his team, and the way I saw it, Pinsir was my best bet. The way I saw it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and you know what? This is gonna be on his side of his side, but it's the same battle, so it really makes no difference here. I might get a little confused, but we'll see. So I'm issuing a challenge to myself now. I didn't realize this was his viewpoint, but either way. So he starts off with Scizor, and I start off with Pinsir, like I said. Now, I'm not really too certain how Pinsir's gonna do against this Scizor. I'm not really sure if I should Mega, if I should switch out, but I just decide to go for it. Scizor really has nothing on my Pinsir. It can't use knockoff, Bullet Punch won't do a lot, X Scizor won't do a lot, so I just decided to go for Return. I believe I calced it out, it's about a 2-hit KO on Scizor. However, he is Mega Scizor, so there's always that option, but either way. So I figured, this thing's probably going to go for Brave Bird, it's probably going to go for Toxic maybe, so I switch into my Heatran. My Heatran can take anything a Golbat really wants to do, and probably dish out good damage with HP Ice. So, he pops my Balloon, which is really unfortunate, I like the Balloon, but he goes for Roost, and I thought he was going to switch into Chandelure here, so I sort of went ahead and I went for Earth Power. And I gotta say, I was so shocked when that happened because I didn't expect him to go for Roost. I really truly thought he would switch into Chandelure because Chandelure would be the best, switching for him. And that's sort of what I went for. But he continued to Roost, and I decided not to go for Earth Power again because I thought it was pretty obvious, he can stall me out with like maybe Super Fang or something like that. So I went for HP Ice. But he goes for Roost again, and I'm thinking, this is confusing, so I'm gonna go for Earth Power again, I think. Yeah, I'm just like, he's gonna go for Roost again, right? No, he's not. So finally, I'm just like, okay, I'm really fearing the Chandelure coming in. I don't want to go for Lava Plume, even though it'll do, a lot of damage. I'm gonna go for Flash Cannon instead. The reason I choose Flash Cannon over HP Ice is because, at the very least, if Chandelure does come in, I can pop its Balloon if it has it. So that's all I really cared about. Chandelure is probably a big threat to my team, so I wanted to make sure. So he brings in Breloom, and the definite switch in for Breloom is Tangrowth, without a doubt in my mind. Breloom has nothing on Tangrowth, so I bring in Tangrowth, and of course he's afraid of that, so he does bring in the Drapion, and I do go for knockoff because I figured the switch was pretty obvious. I didn't see him lose the Life Orb. I thought he was more defensive. I thought I saw Black Sludge, but that didn't really change my decisions across the board. I didn't really have anything for this Drapion, I'll be quite honest with you guys. It's very bulky defensively. It's only weak to Earthquake, and I don't have any ground-type moves outside of my Heatran. But the Balloon was popped, and this thing does get access to Earthquake. So I was just, trying to do as much as I can. But unfortunately, that did mean I lost Melodic. Now, something that I think is odd is that when Knockoff, hits you all the way out into the range where a berry would proc, the berry doesn't proc, which I find weird because, Rocky Helmet procs from Knockoff, so I really feel like Berry should, but I don't know what I'm saying, I guess. It just makes a little bit more sense to me if they're gonna let Rocky Helmet work. So I go for Earthquake. I'm not really worried about him predicting. Nothing on his team really wanted to take Earthquake except, of course, Donphan. But the cool thing about Donphan is it really can't touch me, and I do 2-hit KO it with Return, so really, I'm really not worried about this Donphan at all, and, you know, looking at his team, he really has nothing that wants to switch in on a return. It pretty much 2-hit KOs almost everything on his team, which, with, like, maybe Drapion being the only thing it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it does. So he brings in Scizor. He's gonna Mega the Scizor, and as I said before, I calced it out. I 2-hit KO this thing. It really can't do very much back to me. Doesn't have any super effective moves for me. Doesn't really do much. I can survive a Bullet Punch, but this sort of put me in a bit of a pickle. I didn't really know what to do. I go for Quick Attack because I didn't really want to switch in anything on this thing. I know Tangrowth doesn't really want to take a Bug Bite or an X-Scissor. My best bet probably would have been to bring in Metagross, which I do now. But, you know, he could have Thief. I know I might be the only person in the world that runs Thief on a Scizor, but it's a good move. It has good coverage, and I can't get knockoff for VGC. But he predicts the Bullet Punch, which was, you know, I was tossing through my mind whether or not I wanted to go for Bullet Punch or Meteor Mash, but, you know, I just didn't want to risk it, so I did that. I ended up bringing Espeon in here for fodder. I saw absolutely no reason for it anymore. I don't think anything on his team left can set up Stealth Rocks, and that's Espeon's main purpose. So I got rid of Espeon just so I can safely bring in my Heatran without taking damage. You know, I had to calc it out and everything to make sure that my Heatran can survive, which it can, so that was the most important thing. So he brings in Scizor, you know, probably just as death fodder because, you know, the Earth power is pretty obvious. I also think maybe he did that because he is locked into Shadow Ball because he might be Scarfed. Not that that's a bad move to use against Heatran, but he might have something else, or he might have a better switch-in, aka Drapion. So, you know, I stayed in. I didn't really think this thing would have Earthquake. I thought it was defensive as I said before, rather. So I stayed in, and I ate an Earthquake for that. I probably could have switched into, I don't think I have Tangrowth anymore. You know, I really don't know. There wasn't really much I can do against this Drapion, which is really unfortunate. I run Hammer Arm over Earthquake, mainly because I use this in doubles. I think, you know, the more I think about it, Zen Headbutt doesn't really do as much as I want it to, so I probably, for singles, could put on Earthquake on this thing. But, of course, you know, the Chandelure really was his win condition throughout the whole match, because Chandelure, well, once he got rid of Melodic, Chandelure was definitely his win condition because, you know, Chandelure can really just run through this team, you know. I mean, the Heatran's going to be a bit of a problem for him, but the Heatran can actually, you know, probably take a Shadow Ball and one-hit KO back with Earth Power. Yeah, so the biggest turning point of this battle was really the Melodic going down to the Drapion. But I think what's really, really cool about this Tangrowth is it survived a Chandelure. Now, I know it's not Specs, as we saw at Scarf. But that's still really cool, you know, to survive a Chandelure's Flamethrower. I was very happy at that. No defensive investment, just max HP, max defense, bold. Yeah, bold. And I just slapped on an Assault Vest. So without any, you know, just HP and an Assault Vest, that's pretty great. That's pretty great to take that. So it was all in all a pretty good battle. I don't really think I made too many misplays. He just outplayed me. The Drapion was definitely something that I didn't really have anything for. My Heatran would have been great for it if I still had my Balloon. And I'm sure he knew that, which is, you know, one of those things that couldn't really avoid because I needed to bring something in on that Brave Bird, and really the defensive core wants Heatran for Crobat and Golbat and that stuff. So I don't know. I mean, this defensive core is great. I like it, but it can use some work. Maybe not Heatran. Maybe, I don't know. I like Fire Water Grass core, so that's why I like this core. But there are some things that this core doesn't cover, and you saw that in the last video with Victini, and you're seeing this again with an offensive Drapion. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys at the next video. Peace.